Kia ora team, Coach Brad here, and I'm ready to expand your cold water exposure knowledge. Hopefully by now you've watched the cold intro video and maybe even experienced the benefits of the 7-day cold shower challenge. If you haven't, then make some time to watch it. There is a link in the description below. It's really important to understand the why before we get into the how. I've been using cold exposure techniques for the last 7 years. I've been having daily cold showers. I do ice baths in the summer, and I like to get into the ocean between 1 and 5 times a week for some extra cold. I've also had the pleasure of working with heaps of coaching and physiotherapy clients and helped them put cold exposure into their weekly training. Over the last 7 years, I've come to realize there are better ways to do cold, and I've had to go and research heaps of questions that I get asked. The following are the 3 biggest lessons that I want to pass on. I want you to learn from the mistakes that I've made over the last 7 years and help you get the most out of your cold exposure training. So number 1, how do you get started? Well, you need to start within your capacity. Choose a temperature and time exposed that is simply uncomfortable. Get in and then get out. Just like running, it's important not to bite off more than you can chew, especially early on. Play the long game with this. The benefits of cold exposure compound over time. You are far better just on a slow burn with this habit over years, slowly logging more time in cold and just doing a month hardcore on ice baths and then giving up, which is what a lot of people are doing. It took me a week to go from lukewarm to total cold showers, but I know other people that I've coached, it's taken them up to 6 months. So just do you. Don't compare yourself to the Wim Hof disciple taking ice dips in frozen lakes and then getting out after 10 minutes with ripped abs and enjoying the day. Just do you. Start where you are with what you have and be consistent. It's also shown that the dosage to build up to is around 11 minutes a week. If you can do 11 minutes of cold exposure a week, so that can be made up of maybe 2 to 4 sessions of 2 to 4 minutes, you're going to get fantastic wellness benefits. This matches with a fantastic book that I read called Cold, My Water Cure. It was published in the early 1900s by a guy called Sebastian Knep, and that the recent research matches with Sebastian's research into how cold can really help with just that 5 to 11 minutes a week. So number 2, when in the day do you do your cold exposure therapy? Now it's really important before we answer this question to understand your circadian rhythm temperature cycle. So your system, your body's at its coldest around 2 hours before you get up in the morning. Then your temperature gradually rises until the mid to late afternoon, where it starts to drop again as your system gets prepared for sleep. So your body temperature can drop between 1 to 3 degrees throughout the day. So what does this mean? Well, you can do your cold exposure any time that fits with your schedule, but most people find the morning a good time to get that awesome, focused, relaxed feeling to kickstart the day. Boosting that focus and alertness is best used, I think, first thing in the morning rather than late in the evening, as it could interfere with your sleep. And as we all know, sleep is a pillar of wellness. Also, exposing your torso to cold late in the evening will lead to an increase in temperature as you get that thermogenic rewarming. So it's another reason to do cold exposure work maybe in the morning as the body temperature is increasing with that normal daily cycle rather than late in the evening. In saying all that, there has been some research that shows if you have your cold exposure immediately before bed, so maybe 10 to 15 minutes before bed, this can actually improve sleep. So I think it's the timing that's really important. If you do the cold exposure therapy maybe 2 or 3 hours before bed, I think that could impair your sleep, where if you do it very close to sleep at the end of the day, it might actually help it. Now, the third question that I get asked the most by my coached athletes and physiotherapy clients is, can you get into a hot spa or sauna straight after your cold exposure session? The short answer is, yeah, you can, but you're gonna limit some of those after effect benefits. So you'll still get that initial exposure to having the system return to that calm state, but you're gonna miss out on the body rewarming itself from the inside out. The Soberg principle states to achieve the greatest increase in metabolism through deliberate cold exposure, you want to reheat on your own. It's best not to have a hot shower or sauna afterwards, or you dampen the benefits of increasing your metabolism and that shift from white fat to beige or brown fat. It's good to shiver. There's an article in the Nature journal in 2018 that showed this, as it promotes a molecule called succinate, which has a key role in promoting the formation of brown fat through thermogenesis. Now, I hope this video has answered some of those questions you might have about cold exposure therapy and how it can affect positively your wellness and performance journey. If you've got any questions, place them in the comments below. Now, if you'd like to get started on your own cold exposure wellness journey, then download the Run Experience app and click on the link below to get started on the 7-day cold shower challenge. I promise you will not regret it. Thanks for joining me, team, and expanding your knowledge on cold exposure. So please go out, earn those miles, get strong, try a bit of cold, get uncomfortable to get a bit of growth, champion compassion, and I look forward to catching up with you on the next video.